thank you to everyone who participated in our impromptu conference voting, our Best Poster Awards. Thank you. We tallied the results, and our third place award goes to Ricarda Kochems. I'm saying that right? Ricarda, are you with us? Come on. Am I too close? Oh, sorry. My apologies. You can hear me still? Okay. Second place award, and I'm so sorry for the pronunciation. Leanne Suat Ong, are you here? Okay, we'll move to the first place. Wan-Chen Su, are you with us? No? Okay, Ricarda, you're going to be in the photo. Someone tell the others that they have won awards. Okay, Annie.
And now, as you understood, we will remember with love, but we also will breed with love the new ones. The awards for young researchers. First, I will announce the award from last year, which was not collected. And I will ask the person to come down to receive his award. This is Fabio Battaglia. The topic of his dissertation was to GDP or not to GDP, identifying the factors promoting and inhibiting the use and impact of well-being metrics in Scotland and Italy. Fabio, great job. We congratulate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was attempting to, offer him the opportunity to thank his family and his extended family and so on as far as it's appropriate at Oscars, but he was shy. So now we move to the dissertation awards for 2025. I will read them in ascending order. Third prize goes to Karel Overdick for his work entitled Essays on Subjective Well-Being and Behavior. Unfortunately, he is not with us, but as Stephanie said, we include also those who couldn't travel. So just a round of applause for Karel. Second prize goes to Thanasis Tsigas, okay, for the work No Human is an Island, Essays on the Economic Geography of Happiness. So again, and now our star for 2025, first prize go to Stephanie Hess for her work. The title of her dissertation is Family Matters, a multi-system investigation of children's subjective well-being. Stephanie, congratulations. Carl. You see what love does? So, if you want. Do you want a picture?
Yeah, why not?
One more, thank you. Thank you.
And now I invite Francesco for the next type of awards.
Thank you, Annie. So it's my great pleasure to announce the awards for the Young Scholar Awards. So the basic requirement for eligibility to be designated as a young scholar should be evidence of a substantial contribution to quality of life, well-being, happiness research, and to have completed the doctoral work during the last 7 years. So it is my pleasure to offer the first of the 3 awards to Mark Fabian. Mark Fabian is an associate professor of public policy at the University of Warwick and an affiliate fellow at the Bennett School for Public Policy at the University of Cambridge. His work has been published in top journals across multiple disciplines, including Journal of European Public Policy, Perspective of Psychological Science, and much more. His PhD was published by Oxford University Press in 2022 as a theory of subjective well-being, and his first popular book, Beyond Happy, How to Rethink Happiness and Find Fulfillment, was published in April this year by Bedford Square. Mark is an editor of the International Journal of Well-being, organized the 2025 Well-being module of the European Social Survey with Frank Martella, Gundignis, Antonella Delle Fave, and Milena Nikolova, and runs the ePodstemology podcast, which platforms early career researchers. I am confident that we will see this and much more for him in the coming years. Thank you, Mark. Congratulations. The second 2025 Young Scholar Award goes to Lucia Macchia. It is my big pleasure to invite you at the podium. Lucia Macchia is a behavioral scientist with an interdisciplinary background, and her work involves quantitative research on human happiness, physical pain, and behavior. She has published in journals like the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences and Nature Human Behavior, has written about her research in the Harvard Business Review and Scientific American, and her work has been featured in popular media outlets such as Forbes, the New York Times, the Telegraph, and the BBC. Surely a very inspiring young scholar. Bravo. And the last 2025 Young Scholar Awards goes to, and the winner is Alberto Prati. Merci beaucoup. Congratulations. Alberto is an assistant professor in economics at the University College London, a research fellow at the University of Oxford, and as an associate researcher at the London School of Economics. He serves as an associate editor of the Journal of Happiness Studies. Alberto has published both in economics and psychology and contributed to the 2025 World Happiness Report. His research has affected how subjective well-being is measured in national and international surveys, including the Gallup World Poll and the French Consumer Confidence Survey. His work has been featured in various general media, including The Economist, The New York Times, and The Guardian. Guys, as you understood, the competition here is getting tougher and tougher by the year. Congratulations. Nice. And, well, my work is done. It's my pleasure to call Stephanie back at the podium.
Thank you very much, Francisco. So the next award that we have is the Research Fellow Award, and the basic requirement for eligibility to be designated a Research Fellows shall be evidence of a substantial contribution to quality of life, well-being or happiness research. And this year, the 2025 Research Fellow Award goes to Claudia Senik. Unfortunately, Claudia couldn't be here with us today, but Andrew is going to accept her award on her behalf. Now, Claudia Senik is a professor at Sorbonne University and the Paris School of Economics and a member of the University Institute of France. She directs the Wellbeing Observatory of CEPRIMAP and serves as its overall director. Her research focuses on the economics of happiness, particularly the link between income, inequality, and subjective well-being, as well as well-being at work. She also studies cultural, gender norms, and institutional change. Claudia has published extensively in academic journals and authored several books, including The Economics of Happiness and Well-being at Work, What Matters. So congratulations to Claudia. Okay. The next one that we have is Distinguished Service Award. Now, the basic requirement for eligibility to be given a Distinguished Service Award is outstanding service to the society in a leadership position. Before we say who it is, this society is blessed with very good men and women. Really, we are blessed. But it is very random, or not random, very seldom that you get to meet a man like our award recipient. And this year it goes to Martijn Burger. This is going to kill him because I get to say all this nice stuff about him and he can't do anything about it except stand there and grin. So I can say so many things about Martijn. He's got a heart that's never ending. There's always capacity for more. He cherishes what he does. He cherishes the people around him. He cherishes this organization. Now I'm going to read you the extensive list here. Martijn Burger has been a dedicated and influential leader within the ISQOLS community for many years. He served as our president for 2023 and 2024, during which he successfully organized the 2023 annual conference in Rotterdam, a widely praised event that highlighted his commitment to excellence and collaboration. And those of us that remember Rotterdam, I don't know how he did it. In addition to his presidential role, Martijn has served multiple terms on our board of directors, contributing strategic insight and leadership to the organization's long-term vision. Currently, he holds the position of Vice President of Finance, which means I ask for money and he says no. And he has played a key role in our financial oversight and planning. Now, I made a very big mistake in my opening speech. I thanked Joel Johnson and the local organizing committee, but I didn't thank Martijn. Please forgive me. The reason why is he single-handedly put your entire conference program together. And he has done so for at least the last 3 years. All the time and effort, we so appreciate you for that. Thank you. And in doing so, he ensures the academic rigor and smooth execution of each one of our events. His ongoing service reflects a deep commitment to the Society's vision and mission and its global scholarly community. Thank you so much, Martijn. This is your... The last three get to say something.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't prepared a speech, but thanks, Stephanie, for these wonderful words. It was an honor to serve you over the past years. I love this community. For those who have been here for years, probably experienced the same thing that I have experienced, and very warm people that love not only happiness, but are in generally kind, collaborative. And I think that we are so lucky that we are here in a society where that exists, because not all academic societies are as such. And I experienced also, maybe not societies, but like if you look at an academic departments all around the world, they can sometimes be very tribal and mean, etc. But luckily, we don't have that here, and I hope we can foster. Of course, we can disagree with each other sometimes, but always, like what has been said earlier, we try to respect each other. I think that is an important thing. With those words, I would like to give the floor back to Jill or Stephanie. What I forget to mention is I couldn't have done this term without their wonderful support, and also support of all the vice presidents and board members, especially also, well, Jill. Thanks to, thank you for having to deal with me over the past 2 years. I hope it wasn't that bad, and and like also without you, we can't run this society properly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Distinguished Quality of Life Researcher Award. Now, the basic requirement for eligibility to be designated a Distinguished Quality of Life Researcher shall be evidence of a lifetime and substantial contribution to quality of life research. This year, I am very honored to announce that the 2025 Distinguished Quality of Life Researcher Award recipient is Antonella Della Fave. So first I'm going to read you her extensive list, and then I'll say a few words. Throughout Antonella's professional and research journey, she has crossed borders of countries, cultures, and academic disciplines, continually seeking understanding and connection. Along the way, Antonella has explored key psychological constructs such as flow, daily experience fluctuations, mental health, and resilience in the face of adversity. She has employed diverse methodologies, experience sampling, rating scales, interviews, and mixed methods to gather rich data and insights. Antonella's work has illuminated both individual and collective strengths, highlighting cultural and national perspectives on well-being, the contributions of traditional knowledge, and the voices of often overlooked communities, including persons with disabilities and marginalized populations. In addition to Antonella's research, she has played a leading role in shaping the field through service in major scientific associations, including ENPP, EPA, SIP, and ISQOLS. Her scholarly impact extends through her roles as author, editor, editorial leader, notably the editor-in-chief of Journal of Happiness Studies, and director of the influential book series. Now, on a personal note, I've known Antonella for over 13 years, and I can honestly say Antonella is one of the most inspirational women I've ever had the honor of working alongside. When Antonello asked me over 13 years ago to join the Journal of Happiness Studies team, I didn't know my elbow from my knee, to be honest. But I could not have imagined the magnitude of the impact that Antonello would have in shaping my own leadership style 13 years down the track. I can honestly say, if I accomplish half of what you have accomplished with the same grace and resilience, I would consider myself blessed. Please help me to congratulate Antonello.
So thank you so much, Stephanie, for your words, and thank you for this amazing recognition that I am receiving today. Allow me to briefly summarize some people, and to mention some people I'm grateful to, because they have been with me throughout this long journey. I started studying well-being at the beginning of the 80s, when nobody spoke about well-being in Europe, and few people spoke about well-being in the United States. And this opportunity was given to me by my two mentors, Fausto Massimini at the University of Milano, and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi from the University of Chicago. Thanks to them, I could continue this way, and I could see how the field developed throughout the decades until now. In fact, I started over 10 years before ISQOLS was founded. I realized how old I am now. But I also would like to thank some lifelong companions. There could be many of them, but I just want to mention two of them. One is Marta Bassi, my colleague at the University of Milano, my first PhD student, and a friend. In the years, we have developed a very strong friendship with her. But also Marie Wissing from Northwest University, South Africa. Marie Wissing is one of the deepest thinkers in a broad, multicultural, systemic view of well-being. And I was really honored to meet her and to collaborate with her in several projects throughout the last 20 years. And I would like to thank Stephanie Russo, because her presence in the Journal of Happiness Studies in a time where the journal was growing day after day and the number of submissions were multiplying and the amount of work was increasing unimaginably, Stephanie really represented a pillar of the journal and also an ally in this rewarding but also very challenging task. I also would like to thank people who have taught me a lot of things during the years. First of all, people from other populations which I met during my first research field studies, the Navajos in southwest of the United States, a small group of villages, people from a small group of villages in the hilly part of Nepal, and people from rural areas in India. From these people, I learned when I was quite young, still young, how it is important to decentralize our view of reality by listening to different worldviews, by understanding that worldviews can be harmoniously, can live together harmoniously, but they cannot be misunderstood as assimilable to other worldviews, namely, especially the Western worldview. And from these people, I also learned about the relevance of awareness and connectedness besides and beyond performance. And this led me to think about the meaning of a more balanced view of well-being and happiness, rather than maximization of well-being and happiness. But I also learned similar things from people with disabilities. I have been working for the last 20 years, 25 years, in the domain of health, and I met many people with disabilities, with chronic progressive disease. And what I have learned from these people, besides the fact that it is possible to achieve a good quality of life through resilience, through social support, through family connectedness, and through personal resources, they also taught me the value of patience, not to be in a hurry to achieve goals, but to take time and sometimes to make one step behind if we are not sure about what we are doing. And from all these people, I learned that we need to talk to people before developing theories, because sometimes theories are built in our labs. They are based on our worldviews, which are inevitably single-minded and biased. And this led me, not alone, of course, with a group of colleagues to start asking people, what is happiness for you? And we found an interesting, we got an interesting outcome. The first paper was published in 2011 in Social Indicators Research, which is another important, relevant journal for ISQOLS. And we found that people across countries, regardless of their, of course, adult people, regardless of their occupation or age or gender, and also culture, they described happiness as harmony. Inner harmony and balance, social harmony. And this aspect was completely neglected in well-being research. Nobody cared about the fact that to be happy could be synonymous of balance, inner peace, not necessarily optimization or maximization or any positive emotion or extraordinary achievement in life. So this was a revelation for us all. And I am pleased to notice that with time, the study of harmony has developed, at least in positive psychology. We have scales measuring harmony now. We have single items added, for example, to the World Happiness Report in 2022. And I think that this is a very important message for the future of well-being studies. We are talking about sustainability, and what we should always remember is that sustainability means reaching a harmonious way of living with ourselves, with our fellow humans, with the other living beings, and with nature as a whole. It's not anymore useful and meaningful to speak about maximization. It is important to speak about balance today. And the last thing I wanted to say, and maybe two things. One is an invitation for the future. Please consider that we are talking a lot about nature, connectedness with nature, and so on. But sometimes we see nature as the environment. We forget that we are nature. We are not disembodied brains. We are nature. We are part of nature. Nature is not around us, it's within us, it's us. And I think this awareness of the fact that our body belongs to nature, and that if exploiting nature, we are leading ourselves to destruction, we should develop new view of well-being for the future. Finally, I am aware that all of us who are here, and I have been grateful to my life for what I could do until today, but I also am aware that all of us are a very small elite of privileged people. People who were able to get a university degree, people who were free to choose what they wanted to become as professionals, as people, as researchers. And this awareness of our privilege should move our steps towards fighting and doing our best to make all people possible in our surrounding to be free to make choices, to be free to get adequate education, and to expand the number of individuals and communities who can enjoy a better quality of life. Thank you.
Daniel.
Okay, the next one is the best ISQOLS paper, and it goes to the paper by Li Yu and Sergi, entitled "The Dual Effects of Passion on Leisure Well-Being Towards a Theory of Engagement in Diverse Leisure Activities." So I think, Joe, you will get the award on behalf of him. So give Joe a big round of applause. I think Joe got another one several years ago. So thank you for his very good writing. Good to present the prize to you. Okay. This is
Great, me again. It's now time to deliver the award for the betterment of the human condition that ISQOLS assign every year to an organization, private or public, for the development and use of quality of life measures. it's my great honor this year to assign, after nearly 10 years, I believe, the prize for the betterment of the human condition to the OECD WISE Center. And it's my pleasure to invite to the podium Dr. Romina Boarini, who will receive the prize. I think it's time for her. Just two words. So, just so that we're on the same page, the OECD WISE Center is a leading international institution in the area of well-being, inclusion, sustainability, and equal opportunity. They contribute to strengthening the research, provide advice on beyond GDP agenda, provide support policies for well-being, inclusive growth, and SDGs. They've done an immense amount of work in the field of quality of life. You probably all have cited their 2013 guidelines on measuring subjective well-being. They do this and much more. They make a huge effort in distilling the long, controversial literature that we provide, and they distill it so that it's usable for policymakers, and not least, they also manage to create a knowledge base that can be shared among those who are committed to make this place a better, this world a better place. So definitely, it's my great pleasure to award the OECD WISE Center.
Thanks so much, Francesco, and everybody else in this organization. Is obviously wonderful. It's a great honor to be here receiving this prize, and I'm going to be brief because I understand I am standing between you and a wonderful party that we have been promised, so I think we are all looking forward to that. But let me say a very few words, and I have a very long presentation that I don't think I'm going to show, maybe a couple of slides. Indeed, as you exactly said, Francesco, we immensely benefited from the work that the ISQOLS and Thai community did for over 30 years. And I think in the previous session, we heard about the really important progress that this community has achieved. And indeed, in the OECD, we've been very active in trying to leverage, make the most of use of that very important research. We share so many things, I think, with this community. We have the same mission, the same values, the same ethos. I would say the same intellectual sort of courage and ambition. So, I was listening to some of the presentations, not very many, these 2 days. But, there is so much ambition there, passion. There is so much intellectual rigor and this eternal curiosity. And I think this is really what is bringing all us together. So it's a pleasure to share the prize with this wonderful community. I'll say just a couple of words, if this works, yes, on the WISE Center, because some of you may know about it, but maybe some of you may not know so much about it. It's actually a relatively new center. So we've been created in the OECD 5 years ago. It doesn't mean that the OECD started working on well-being only 5 years ago. Of course, we started many, many years ago. But actually, it's only in 2020 that the OECD decided to create actually a center of excellence around those questions. And precisely the idea was to build on the important legacy that some colleagues before me actually have long-standing work that was done by the OECD, by the member countries in the OECD, and the entire sort of research community that surrounded us. But we've been very, very active in those 5 years, so I'm always very happy to show the WISE in numbers slide, which gives you a sense of the fact that we really are very motivated by doing this work. So I'm not going to sort of quote all the numbers in details, but of course, if you go to our website, you will see all the reports, the data that we are generating, and importantly. The way we are trying sort of to do this, I think is pretty new in the OECD. This is, of course, an organization that exists, has existed for 60 years, and the main raison d'être is actually to be there to engage with governments, which is still very much what we're doing today. However, we are trying to do it in a slightly different environment where we actually understand that to address the very fundamental challenges that societies face in terms of improving people's well-being for all, that requires engaging with everyone. And so we are really trying sort of to reach out and work with many, many different stakeholders. So that is a very big community we are working with. And of course, you're very much part of that community. So just one slide to tell you what we try to do, or we've been trying to do for the last 5 years. So, and again, I have more slides with concrete illustrations, but this is just a way to summarize it really in a way that is possibly sort of brief and give you a sense of the journey that we accomplished so far. So it was important for us that we could, as much as possible, try to build on the important statistical work that the OECD and many others did on beyond GDP. So that's really the narrative that we've been trying sort of to build and construct within the OECD, but also sort of push. So we talk about well-being, we have a well-being framework, we have well-being reports, data sets, and etc. But it's really the notion about sort of going beyond GDP, and I think, you know, the subtitle of your conference is about redefining progress, which I find it quite fascinating, right? Because how many times we had that conversation, and sometimes I think we can feel a little bit tired and say, well, we already had that discussion. And actually that discussion is one that never finishes. So we should have it all the time. And at the same time, I think we do want to use and build on the huge statistical efforts that was done, you know, by the OECD, by the national statistical offices, by the researchers, you know, by the civil societies, everybody that has really built, you know, and fed into that statistical process. They're trying to use it as much as we can. But if I have to sort of say and sort of point out the one reason why it was created is precisely because we recognize in the OECD that statistics and data is not enough. So it is obviously a very necessary starting point, but, you know, it really makes sense only if at some point it gets used. Okay, and so the main reason for creating WISE was really sort of try that sort of policy dimensions, policy layers into the work that we're doing, and make sure actually that, you know, we don't only write nice reports, but we actually write reports with some concrete policy advice and recommendations to our member countries. And we're actually working with them to also try to support the implementation of those sort of policy recommendations. Now, as I said, you know, the well-being conversation, you know, we have been having that in many places with many different people for the last 20 years. But, you know, we are also very much aware about the fact that there are new challenges that are actually emerging, and, you know, not just emerging, but building up really fast. And so part of the work that we tried to do in WISE was also really sort of incorporate in the analysis these new challenges. So we did a lot of work, for instance, on, you know, digital tech and how this is impacting people's lives, in particular the lives of children. We published a few reports there, and we will do more. We're doing a lot of work also to understand how climate change is having an effect on people's lives. And there are many more sort of risks that we see, you know, as emerging. Of course, the overall sort of political context is one that comes with a lot of uncertainties, a lot of risks. We are trying to also monitor those factors and again try to embed those in our analysis. So this is, I think, what really gives us sort of the capacity to do a bit of strategic foresight in this work and not just look at this as something, you know, for which we already have responses. And finally, part of what we've been trying to do is precisely because the challenges are new, but also because there is a lot of innovation, so really a lot of potential to exploit, especially when we're talking about the data, I think, you know, and even the solutions that have been sort of already sort of created in some places, in some communities. It is important to bring it bring it all together. So part of what we're trying to do is sort of constantly building these frameworks or bringing together the frameworks or integrate the frameworks, because we are, I think, all very good at generating new metrics and new frameworks. And sometimes, this is getting to a place that, of course, sort of very complex for policymakers to actually deliver on. And so part of the work is also about understanding how those different frameworks sort of articulate and connect. So I'll leave it here, but of course, if you want to know more about the work that we do in WISE, I'm here together with Jessie here, Mahoney's colleague, and one that actually is an expert of subjective well-being. So please just come to us at the end of the session. We'll be happy to take your questions. Thank you.